of the week.
All right, we've all had this problem once or twice, especially if you own a home, and that is the vanity drain, the bathtub, whatever drain you have in the home. You're finished using the water, you got the tub filled, you want to drain it, the vanity, you want to drain it, and it just takes forever. Forever. So what do? Many of us, well, we run to the hardware store and we get a bottle of something you should never use, and I've said that for 25 years. Acid, and you pour it in there, and then if it doesn't break it free, and it usually doesn't, sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't. It, in a lot of cases, actually moves that blockage further down the line, and then you got to take the pipes off, and what do you got? Pipes full of acid. So what we're going to do in our project of the week, we're going to introduce you to a tool that's going to make that project a whole lot easier. Sylvia, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Gary. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. Did I set the stage well enough? You think that's what most people do?
You sure did, and absolutely. That's what they did prior to our tool.
Well, let's talk about the tool. The name of the tool is?
Drain Effect.
Okay.
And it does essentially, what a plumber does, and it allows the consumer to do it in their home themselves without the mess, to your point, about toxins and chemicals. Mm. It basically runs two feet down the pipe, both Drain Effects for sinks and plus, and it has a pressure that essentially makes the tap like a pressure washer, and basically the water goes 40 feet down the stack. So it basically brings everything to the stack. So to your point, you don't have to go in the P-trap now, because it takes the debris and shoots it all the way down. No mess, nothing comes back up, and you've got a drain that works better than new.
All right. Well, you said a mouthful there, so let's go track back a little bit, because one of the things I used to preach all the time is, not use acid. The only way to really remove a blockage is to physically remove it.
Correct.
And in a lot of cases, our options were a snake.
That's
which,
right.
If anybody's used one of that, it's dirty, it's messy, it's difficult, and it's a pain. So the Drain FX, you called it a great name. It's like a pressure washer. And I call it kind of like a hose with a water pick.
No, that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, so people can kind of visualize that. So the water source that we're using is right there, correct?
That's exactly it. So you've got everything, as you basically have a tool that connects to the faucet.
To the faucet,
which
okay.
essentially creates, to your point, the pressure washer, or what I had said before.
Right.
And there's no tools required. It comes with a little rubber basically a rubber piece that allows you to take the aerator off easily without scratching it. That's the other important part, Gary, and as you know, having used it, when plumbers come in and they use their plumbing wrenches, they actually scratch your faucet.
Yeah, right.
Aerator.
Right.
And the beauty of what this gentleman did when he invented this, being a plumber, he knew that he had to sort of prevent that from happening.
Right.
The rubber tool easily removes it. You don't have any damage to your faucet, and you basically blow all the debris. It does what a snake does, but instead of having to bring all the debris back up with a snake and having all the filth that you have associated with using a big, cumbersome, commercial tool,
right.
This is just an easy thing. Like we had said before, a hammer and a screwdriver, you use your hammer to nail your nail in, and you use Drain Effects to basically unblock your drain or to prevent a slow-running drain.
Well, this is interesting. You'll appreciate this. I had somebody actually stop me yesterday and ask me about the Drain FX, and we'll talk about how to get it, what it costs, and everything.
Right.
And this person said, "Now, is you I heard talk about it?" I said, "Yes, it is." She goes, "I got to tell you that I've lived in this house for 35 years.
Right.
My drains upstairs have never been clogged, but they've never run fast. It always took a while." Right. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, really? It never clogged? It ran slow for 30-some years? And she goes, so I got a Drain FX, and I cleaned. Look at this. I cleaned all my drains.
Yep.
And she said, my drains have never run like this as long as I've lived in the house.
Exactly.
And do you get reports like that? I mean, people use it just as a maintenance, just clean out the drains.
Like a vacuum cleaning?
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you say that, Gary. We actually I'm going to give you two examples of your listeners that actually called us.
Okay.
And one gentleman in particular had bought one about a month ago.
All right.
And he called back and said, I'm buying two more, one for my son and one for my son-in-law, because they have to have these. It's the finest for drain. And then another gentleman called this week and said he needed to buy this for his wife for Valentine's Day.
Now, I'd get hit.
Exactly.
That's not going to work for me.
Yeah, we're not sure if that's exactly what your wife might.
I might get in trouble on that one. She'll tell me what to do with my Drain FX.
Exactly.
But anyway, this person was just absolutely thrilled. Now, I had somebody call yesterday.
Yep.
I know the answer on this, but I'll let you answer it.
Sure.
And they said they had a kitchen sink. It was running slow. And they had one of those faucets that doesn't have a spout. It's just got kind of a big spray head that pulls out.
Correct.
How do you connect that?
Okay. Well, basically what we have is we have what's called the universal adapter. So it's an accessory for drain effects. If you have a pull-out faucet, like in the kitchen, sometimes they're in the laundry. And essentially what you do is you just unscrew it, you put in the universal adapter and on the hose, and then once you've done that, you use it just like you would everywhere else.
All right. So people can buy this online?
Yes, they can.
And it's drain-fx.com.
That is exactly it, Gary.
Now, one thing, if I'm listening, I might think, oh, geez, I'm blessed on a lot of pressure down the drain lines. Any harm can come of that?
No. There's a misconception. With pressure doesn't necessarily come the damage. So essentially, it sprays in a way that really disperses properly.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, it just moves that debris down right to the stack. So 40 feet, essentially, once you've got it full force with the cold and hot water together. And that's the other part, Gary, is that what really distinguishes us from the rest, even when you look at a snake and an auger,
right,
we use hot water. When you use a snake and an auger, it's going to push some of the debris out. But we all know that once you put hot water to oil and grease,
right,
melts it, and then it forces it down the drain. Mm-hmm. Why, again, we even outdo a snake and auger in any commercial application is that we, with the use of water, clean all that debris against all, everything that's stuck to the pipes.
Yeah, I mean, you're really literally not just poking a hole in the blockage. You're power washing the sidewalk, and the sidewalk's the inside of the pipe.
You're exactly right. That's a perfect analogy. Mm-hmm. It's like cleaning your driveway, cleaning the sidewalk. You use a regular hose without pressure. You're going to clean some of it, but you're not going to get everything around it. Mm-hmm. Point is, once you've put pressure or use a pressure washer, you blow everything away. So that's essentially what ours is doing as well. You run the water with the tap, Gary,
right,
and have the pressure. You're going to push some of it with the tap, but that's why eventually it clogs.
Right.
Ours, you put pressure in, it blows it away, and you're good to go. And like you said, it's a maintenance tool. Every 6 months, once you've done it, you just use it as you would any other tool, and just,
Sure.
And then you're good to go. You'll never have a clogged drain again. There's never been a product like this on the market, and, at the end of the day, it's just been so well received.
Right. So I'll turn the tables a little bit, and I'll say instead of us guys giving the gal a Valentine's gift for the Drain FX, maybe I go the other way around, and she ought to get the guy the Drain FX, right?
I think that was your listener's intent. I think he was buying it for his wife, but really secretly it was for him, right?
Exactly. Well, Sylvia, thanks so much for joining us on our Project of the Week. Again, if you'd like to pick one up, they're under, what, $40?
They are. Drain effects for sinks, Plus is actually for showers, tubs, and sinks, Gary. It does it all. It's $39.95. It's basically the Cadillac. You can do all applications. Sinks is actually $19.95, and it does all sinks.
All right.
And again, the universal adapter is for the pull-out scenario, like you had said, in both a kitchen and a laundry room.
Very good. And, of course, it's drain-fx.com. Sylvia, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Take care. All right. Again, it's drainfx.com. You can pick those up. Seriously, a marvelous tool. And I know so many of our vanities are always kind of slow running and everything, especially with all the gels and hair and everything like that. That Drain FX will clean that up like right now. Cool tool. Very, very cool tool.